line. Imagine will there be, you play a few other guys at certain positions, or are you just comfortable with the two deep right now, or will there be other
No,
guys?
you're going to see, we listed the two deep there, Robert, but there's going to be many guys that you'll see, i.e. tight ends, defensive backs, linebackers, and so, we plan on playing a lot of people, and I think it's important to get these guys on the field.
You know what, one of your guard spots, you have Jake Jones or Sam Hardy. Is it more that Sam's had a good camp, or Jake struggled a little bit, or a little bit of both, or what have you seen there where Sam has really kind of emerged up on the chart?
What has occurred is Sam has really developed into an excellent player, which is bonuses for us. Certainly Jake's played an awful lot of football, but Sam has really taken ownership at that spot, and we feel like he's got a huge upside, and so we're gonna push him into playing time.
Coach, what's the update on DJ May? Obviously coming off that turf toe, how's he looking?
DJ will practice today. We've held him out of practice. He has run. He's done a lot of different activities during fall camp here. He was looking good, but it was a little bit of a precautionary decision. We wanted to make sure that as he rolled into this week, he was going to be at full speed. And so we're confident that he'll play at a full speed pace.
Looks like you've chosen some returners. Just kind of what was the thought process behind choosing those guys?
Well, Jalen, we've got several options at the punt returning position, and that's the one I'm assuming that you're identifying. Jalen is an outstanding explosive athlete. DJ May has the ability to catch punts. Sam Stratton also has the ability to catch punts. You'll see a couple different combinations at the kickoff return. Hopefully we're not having to return the kickoff a whole lot, though.
Craig, I know you mentioned a little bit about their defensive line. What makes that group so good and with the talent that they have?
We've got physical maturity, and then you've got ability, and they've got great quickness, and so you combine their size and their speed, and then along with that, they play an aggressive style defense. I mean, they'll mix in all kinds of different fire zones at different times. Always those are an opportunity. Everybody loves to blitz. I always say, I was an old defensive coordinator. When you blitz, somebody's band's going to be playing. We just hope it's ours. Their front is an imposing front, though, and they'll leverage that this year. And we'll need to be able to establish the line of scrimmage, get the running game going, and protect our quarterback.
Coach, Montana is another team with sort of a fresh offensive line at a bunch of positions. How confident do you feel in your defensive ends and defensive interior to be able to make an impact there?
Well, similar to the University of Montana, we feel like we've got a good defensive front as well. Eddie Yarborough played really well last year. Patrick Mertens is developed into a great defensive tackle, and to really make the Tampa 2 system go, you've got to have great push. We call that our 3 technique. And so we've got good, a really good feeling about our defensive front, and we're in hopes that we'll match up well come Saturday.
You've talked about a few of the freshmen that will probably play. Is it still the same guys, Brian, Robert Priester? Did you make a decision on Chavez if he'll play, or do you tell us that right now?
The first two, yes, they'll play. I think Chavez right now, we're in hopes that we're going to be able to position the redshirt him. But you'll see Robert in there, and you'll also see, some of it's going to be contingent upon the flow of the game at the tailback position with Brian. However, you may see him out there playing some special teams, but they will suit up, and there's a great chance they'll be in the first ball game.
Coach, obviously you have a lot of experience on the FCS level playing up against these FBS teams. From your experience, I mean, how much different is the feeling going into a week as an FCS team trying to knock off this FBS team like Montana's trying to do?
Well, I think a lot of it comes in a point of reference. Certainly the years when I was at NDSU, you were playing a Big Ten school that was in the Power 5 conference. It had some impact. I can tell you, when you're in a bordering state like this, throw all those numerals out. They've got a great football program. We've got a storied past. I think it's going to be an excellent game, and we're excited about playing it.
Can you talk about your backup and fullback in Jordan Ellis? He's a converted defensive end, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. I know that you brought in some fullbacks as walk-ons. So how did that kind of develop, and what do you expect from him?
Well, that'll be a work in progress. First of all, his physical size lended itself to say, hey, this guy could develop into a fullback, and And we've seen good signs. Is he a finished product right now? No, not yet, but we're encouraged about that, and we'll continue to develop him.
Greg, your first really big win at NDSU came against Montana. Going up
Yeah, I
there
remember that very well.
and winning. Do you kind of find it ironic that your first game here now is against that same school a little bit?
You know what, I think it's really important, first of all, you know, I enjoyed the great 11 years at North Dakota State, but I'm now the head football coach at the University of Wyoming. It's a new chapter. Coaches live in the presence. You know, we're excited about playing the game at 2 o'clock. It's a great question, but I know this is, we got a lot of work to do come 2 o'clock Saturday.
Do you feel, do you feel a game like this though could maybe galvanize the program a little bit right off the bat with that first win?
Well, our whole program is going to be a work in progress, but make no mistake, you don't get a second chance to make first impressions. I think it's important for our players to be engaged with our coaches. You know, during game time, you can try to replicate so many things in practice, but there's nothing like a live game situation. And so I know our coaches, we've got an experienced seasoned coaching staff. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for us to establish you know, a great program here, but it will be a process. But I can tell you this, nobody has a better seat in the house than I do. Come Saturday at 2 o'clock, there's always an opportunity to see some young man who makes a couple great plays that's wearing the brown and gold, and sometimes you don't know who it's going to be, and I'm excited to see who that's going to be.
Now that camp is done and kind of the grind for these guys, do you get a sense that these guys are kind of refreshed, renewed, knowing that the game's getting a little closer?
Well, today you'll see a different bounce in their step. It's game week. As a coach, sometimes you say something's only 10 days away, and to those players in the midst of fall camp, that seems like eternity. I can tell you though, you know, I went down to the weight room this morning and had a chance to talk to a couple of them. They're not quite 100% as far as their legs underneath them, but we had a plan, and we worked with our strength and conditioning staff, and through years of experience with our scripts and things like that, they come game time 2 o'clock, they'll be walking about 3 feet off the turf.
Greg, I know that when you're at North Dakota State, you came close to playing Montana a couple times in these last few years, so your coaches scouted them. I'm sure Montana had scouted you, but knowing that your coaches kind of know what to expect from them, and when they look at your film, they know what you want to do, but you're inheriting a different team. Is there maybe a slight advantage there? Is that really just rhetoric and doesn't mean a whole lot?
Well, I think it means a little bit. I'm sure, you know, we're not going to do tons of different things than what we've done at NDSU. There'll be some things that we'll do differently offensively and defensively to adapt to our personnel that we have here, but I'm sure their coaches are spending a great deal of time looking at the NDSU tape. You know, a lot of their players on their team, we try to recruit. We know a lot about them. And so there's some familiarity. How that plays out, Robert, I don't know how much of an advantage that's going to be. I can tell you this, though, make no mistake, our football players here, if there's any thought that any of our guys are overlooking anybody, that is not going to happen. I can guarantee you that.
Expected to be close to a sellout. What are you anticipating atmosphere-wise for your first game Saturday here?
Well, you know, that's always an exciting time too as a head football coach, because it's a whole new chapter of my life personally. And you know, when I was younger, just all the great coaches that I was around, whether it was Bob Devaney or Gene Huey or John Melton, all these guys who have, you know, great roots to the University of Wyoming. It's exciting for me to be able to walk the same sideline that Bob Devaney did, and so I'm looking forward to that game day experience. Other questions that are out here? Okay, thanks a lot. We'll turn it back over to Tim.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
At this time, if you'll all just stay where you are, we're going to transition into the Cameco Teams for Dreams press conference.